Hey everybody, this is Mike Sorkin with Mortal Seats. We're here at the Wrestling Universe store with the newest WWE Hall of Fame inductee, the living legend, Larry Zbyszko.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on show. Appreciate it. Next thing I want to, ask you about the Hall of Fame. Were you surprised WWE called you and say we're inducting? Were you expecting that, or?
Well, I wasn't really that surprised. I mean, I figured sooner or later, maybe, it should happen. And it happened, and it was a thrill. I mean, I was one of the guys. I started the WWF and pulled off the biggest thing in history in those days. But then, just the way things worked out, I was always wound up, the AWA or WCW, and I just never worked, for the WWE for years. But I was just always with the other people.
Yeah.
They needed people because the WWE had me. So it worked out good for me in that way. And then the Hall of Fame, when they asked me, I said, great, that was a thrill. But I figured, I helped them out with Bruno and getting at it. So I figured it was coming.
Yeah.
It was
well deserved.
It was fun. It was a thrill.
Now, what about, I heard the speech. You had a speech prepared, and I guess you lost it maybe a week before.
Where did you hear that?
There was a few pro wrestling sites, I guess.
Pro wrestling sites. Okay, let me tell you
I don't know
something.
how legit they are.
Let me tell you about pro wrestling sites. Don't believe a word you hear on the pro wrestling site or the internet.
You heard it right there. So
I never wrote any speech. I had I had the story. I just wanted to tell the story of my dream, which was, the truth. I was a big fan. I saw Bruno one day in his backyard through these giant hedges. And I couldn't help it. I walked out of the car and crawled to these stupid hedges, and that's how I met him. And things happened. So I was just going to tell the story. The funny part is, I started off telling that story, and then I looked up in the audience, and for the first time, it's a different energy. It wasn't like wrestling in front of a crowd or talking. I looked up, and the first rows were all full of the guys, Pat Patterson and Dusty and Cena and Randy and, but everybody I knew for years. And I looked up, and for a minute I went, oh, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so. That's my girlfriend, here she is. And then I went, what the hell did I just say? And I remember saying, I lost my train of thought. And as soon as I said that, I went into a different dimension. I mean, I don't know where I went. I don't remember a thing I said. All I remember is walking off, and Vince and Arnold Schwarzenegger and some other guy come running up, and they went, that's what I wanted. You were in the moment. That was the greatest speech I ever... And I don't remember a word I said. I went into a different dimension. It was really a wild experience. It was a very memorable speech, and I guess I had to watch it, and when I watched it, I went, oh, I did say this. I did say that. I didn't remember.
Everybody was talking about it. I was saying, actually, out of all the inductees, you had the most memorable speech.
Well,
so you said it from the heart.
It came from a different dimension right through the heart, baby.
That's the best kind of speech. Now, going back, you brought up Bruno, so you had a great rivalry in the 80s where you learned the nickname, the living legend, for...
I stole it, yeah.
Stole it, yeah. For those not familiar, Bruno Sammartino, can you talk a little bit about it? What was it like working with him, for the new generation?
Well, I wasn't thinking of no new generation at the time. I mean, at that time, I was thinking of me. It's a brutal business. And to get a break in it is brutal. And when Bruno broke his neck and retired, and some other guy, I think Billy Graham came in, but then Backlund came in, and Backlund had the belt, but the business was dying. I mean, the people weren't ready yet for Bruno to be born. Bruno to make a comeback one time would be the next star. And I harassed the poor guy. I think the only reason he did it was because it was me. And then I had to, go back and forth with Vince McMahon Sr. about it too, because for those days, I was like the baby face guy, 240 pounds. But back then, to be the big bad guy, everybody was like George Steele. When he was 300 pounds, or Professor Tanaka, or Ivan Koloff. And Vince Sr., you have to understand, he was the guy that had to put his blood on the line. But he believed in my dream too, and he rented Shea Stadium. If the Shea Stadium would have bombed, I would have went home, and Vince would have been stuck with the bill. But But it was so perfect, and it was so hot.
What was it like performing in the stadium? You know,
it was wild. And back then, I mean,
that was different because it's as opposed to now. So
Yeah, I mean, now
bigger deal in the stadium.
Back then, the 44,000 people inside, plus the thousands they turned away. Yeah, I mean, there were people hanging off trees blocks away with binoculars.
Yeah.
But they wanted to kill me. I mean, it wasn't like today. Everybody runs out. I mean, back then I got shot at, I got stabbed, I had my car set on fire, other ones were smashed.
Well, that's what you're great at. People believed,
they
you're a true heel.
believed,
Now
yeah.
it's different,
But that was a wild time at Blue Ridge.
Now, what about going to WCW, the first Nitro? What was it like backstage? What was the attitude like of all the wrestlers taking the official word to WWE?
Well, it was an exciting thing because, especially for me, because I'm the one that put it all together. The New World Order thing was an old AWA idea that never happened. Where Vern, before he went out of business, wanted the AWA to invade the brand new WCW at the time, which was basically the same NWA guys, Dusty, Sting, Luger, Barry. So it was boring. WCW's business was, sucked. And AWA, the territories were going away. So they wanted to do an invasion thing where AWA invaded the new guy, and Sting had the belt, and I had the belt. It was like 1990. But then one of the old promoters, Jim Barnett, he was afraid of me wrestling their champion, Sting. Sting doesn't know anything. He was a kid. And they thought I'd stretch the kid and steal the belt or make their champion look bad and some nonsense. So that never happened. The good news is, down the road, it just happened to be Greg Gagne in the office with Eric Bischoff, who started the AWA, selling, rubber ninja junkies. So we made him an announcer because our announcer is Larry Nelson. And Eric wound up there being executive producer with some ridiculously artificial resume. At the same time, Ted Turner decided to go ahead on the head. So Eric, what are we going to do? And Greg was the one that kind of said, well, hey, the AWA idea that never happened. If we talk to some of these guys like Scott Hall and we bring them in now, we make it look like the WWE's invading the new WCW. And I'm the one that put everything together. Scott Hall busting in, and then McBack and Nash. And that's why I wound up wrestling Bischoff. I put all the heat on Bischoff, so I could wrestle and say Nitro from the New World Order, and I wrestled with Scott Hall. I'm the one that took the whole beginning. Got it hot off the beginning.
And it's still to the day. It's probably the hottest thing that's happened in wrestling.
Well, yeah, it was. But then it started getting diluted, and Eric got brainwashed by some goofs and Madonnas that messed it up. And it ended too early. And then AOL brought it out and canceled it. But I'm the one that put together the whole thing.
Now you heard it. The genius behind the angle right here.
So, thank you very little.
Yeah. And the last question I have for you, you had a quick stint in TNA, I believe from 2000 to 2005. What was your experience in TNA? Did you think they could possibly give WWE that run that WCW gave in the 90s?
Well, when TNA first started, I thought they had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And they had some good new talent, AJ and Chris Daniels and The Abyss and some other guys, and they brought Samoa Joe, and they had a chance. But then, to make a long story short, Dixie, it was very nice to deal with, but she just wouldn't listen to me. And after I saw what she did, then they bring this idiot Cancer Russo in. And when I saw Russo come out, I told Dixie, Dixie, you're not going to make it, but I wish you the best of luck. And then not too long ago, I sent her an email, I told you so. Because, I'm not wasting my time. And they were nice people, it was fun, they had some great new talent, but when it came to making money, they didn't know. And they wouldn't listen, so...
This is why they seem to be struggling.
Well, yeah, because there's no one left alive really that really knows. You have me, and unfortunately, I'm sad to say, guys like Dusty aren't here anymore. The guys that had knowledge of how to make money are going away. There's not too many left.
No, not at all.
If someone wants to open a business, they better listen to the right people, or you're gonna blow your mind.
Exactly. Now, speaking of Dusty, last thing we know, Dusty Rhodes, and unfortunately, Roddy Piper passed away within the last month, and Piper within a few days. Do you have any personal stories or your best memories of Dusty Rhodes or Piper that you could tell us?
Well, you know what, Piper, I didn't really know that well because we were just in different places. You know, I mean, I was
Sure, when WCW had
I was with WCW. He was with WWE a lot when I was with the AWA. So I really didn't know Piper that well. And Dusty, I knew him a little bit, and he was a sharp-witty guy, and he was booking places for me. He was always good to me because I was good. So he recognized my talent, and so I always respected Dusty for that. He was a witty guy. But Piper, I didn't know that well. I was always in a different territory. But it's just too bad. Kind of young, you know, 61. That's kind of a shocker with Piper.
Yeah.
If Jake the Snake went, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But Piper's kind of a shocker.
Everybody was shocked about
Yeah.
that. So awesome, Larry. Thank you so much.
All
I
right,
appreciate
buddy.
your
Have
time.
fun.
The living legend,
Still
Larry
living.
Zbyszko. DJ.